They put on Tim's and ran across the court. Is this taking it a little too far, Trace?
Oh, Rasheed Wallace used to show up to shoot around with Tim's on. So what?
This is a thing now in New York? I'm a New Yorker. This is a thing. I'm out,
Wait,
I guess.
are you saying Tim? You are asking if Tim's is a thing in New York?
I guess.
That's not possible. You are not asking that question in 2019.
Come on.
I'm a 42-year-old dad. I got nothing going on.
When
I don't
you
know
were
what's
32 years old.
Your kids need to let you out of the house, bro.
That's impossible that you just asked that question.
Are they back? Are they having some kind of renaissance? I don't understand.
See, now he's trying to make it better by being like, are they back? When at first he was like, is this even a thing to begin with? Welcome to The Jump. Nothing's changed. I'm Rachel Nichols, alongside host of the Low Post podcast, Zach Lowe. And look, it's the Basketball Hall of Famer and high school baseball phenom, I like to remind people, Tracy McGrady. Amin Al-Hassan will join us later in today's show. And coming up, Carmelo Anthony, officially a trailblazer, says his approach is, quote, totally different this time. We will get into what he can provide as he is expected to make his debut. First, though. So basketball's most important proverbs are not written in any rule book, and they don't always come from who you'd expect. There's ball don't lie, thanks to the poet laureate, Rasheed Wallace. There's practice, we're talking about practice, thanks to our greatest living American, Allen Iverson. And from Latrell Sprewell, quote, I've got a family to feed, spoken as he turned down $21 million in a contract offer. And then, of course, there's Kevin Garnett's masterpiece, which, I mean, only he can do it justice.
I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
When KG screamed, anything is possible, back in 2008, he had no idea that in the decade plus that followed in the NBA, that would actually become true. There was the rise of positionless basketball, the change in the geometry of the court as it began to extend well past the three-point line. Unicorns would come to stampede across the land. Big men shooting threes, perimeter players leading their teams in rebounding. 50-point games used to be rare orchids. Now, at the increased pace of the game, they grow like dandelions. We've had 4 in the past month alone. And so, of course, now, in this totally different basketball universe where so many of the previous laws of physics just don't apply, we regularly see James Harden delivering 4-point plays like he's getting out of bed. Here he was, working against poor Nasir Little at the start of last night's game, and a little later in the half, yeah, I mean, look, James Harden is not interested in your double team, thank you. Remember when Tracy McGrady was on this show during training camp and said he wouldn't be surprised if Harden averaged 40 a game this season? We'll get to that a little later. But James is averaging 39.2 at the moment, and his shooting percentages still haven't quite rounded into the form they were in last season, which should terrify basically everyone. After the game, Russell Westbrook made headlines when he chided NBA fans for, quote, normalizing Harden's greatness. Personally, though, it's what Mike D'Antoni said afterward that caught my ear.
It's unbelievable. No, I've lost for words. I mean, you know what he does. You can't do that.
You can't, yeah, that's basically everyone's reaction. D'Antoni is right. Harden took the three-point line that Steph Curry broke and has been using the pieces like balled-up shreds of paper you or I might launch into an office trash can. Right now, Harden actually misses more three-pointers than anyone else in the NBA is even attempting.
Wow.
That's insane. Still, it's important to note that he's not the only one who is running amok in this anything-is-possible world. Did you see Luka Doncic last night? 42 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists. That is his 6th triple-double in the Mavericks' 13 games so far this season. And again, 42 points. The only person other than him to knock in a 40-point-plus triple-double before he turned 21 years old is LeBron James. So that's some company. Luka was off to a monster start to the game. He had 17 guys in the first quarter alone. Yeah, just a little of that. And he finished with plenty of fire, too, dropping in this 3 to seal the win for Dallas. Honestly, Luka's rebounding has been just as impressive as his scoring on this run. Check out this sequence against Cleveland. He defends Tristan Thompson, bigger than him, gets the board, initiates the offense, gets the board again, kicks it out to Hardaway Jr., and when there's nothing doing there, Luka's just going to drain the 3 himself. I mean, come on. Again, the way today's NBA works lends itself more to all of this, with more spacing on the floor. Guys like Luka can have more cracks at rebounding in the first place. But getting to watch Luka take advantage of all of it, along with everything else, has been just, well, phenomenal, in the words of Rick Carlisle.
This guy can do anything he wants to on a basketball court. And you know, he's having just one of those magical runs right now. And it's a phenomenal thing to watch. It's a phenomenal thing to be a part of. And, you know, his teammates, you know, we're all just, you know, kind of along for the ride here.
This really is such a truly fun time to be an NBA fan. Every time you turn on the TV, something magic can happen. Anything is truly possible. It's only November. So, Tracy, Luka does not turn 21 until February. He's already putting up these crazy numbers on a good team, despite his youth. Tracy's just like, wait, he's not 21 yet? Is he ready to contend for an MVP this season?
Oh, he's contending, all right. I mean, the man is averaging 30, 11, and 9 in 13 games so far. I am highly impressed with this guy. I'm impressed with Dallas Mavericks organization for seeing this, you know, making a trade to get this guy, trading the pick that would possibly have landed Trae Young. But this guy, I mean, they saw it. And for Rick Carlisle to say he's, you know, he could do everything on the basketball court, and he's even, you know, shocked by what he's seeing out of him. He coached one of the greatest players to ever play this game, Dirk Nowitzki, right, for the amount of years he coached him. So having Luke be his successor, I mean, this is unbelievable, the things that he's doing. And what impresses me the most is he's averaging 11 rebounds. Luka is not athletic, guys. He can't jump a lick. He barely can jump. And he's out there averaging 11 rebounds. I mean, he can do everything on the basketball court. I love watching him play.
And they need his rebounding, too, because they're not a great rebounding team. He's the best rebounder on their team. When you vote for MVP, as you know, you got to list 5 guys.
Right.
He is 15 games in. He is 100% on the ballot. Now, I'm not sure he's above Harden, LeBron, or Giannis. Maybe the eye of the beholder kind of thing.
Right.
He's 100% on the ballot. And if he keeps playing like this, it's going to be a really hard vote at the end of the season, because what he's doing, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. What he's doing is MVP basketball.
He's your number 3
Yeah,
on that list?
he's my number 3 right now.
After who?
LeBron, Giannis, and him.
So before James Harden, you put him.
Well, James Harden, he struggled in, you know, the first couple of games of the season. Horrible shooting percentage,
Yes.
but Luka's been consistent. I mean, James is putting up numbers, but he also is averaging 25 shots a game.
He's one of the most fun guys to watch, and I'm glad you highlighted that sequence in Cleveland, because the shooting, the step backs, and the passing, that gets all the attention. But what he does in those little in-between moments when he doesn't have the ball, little give and go kind of stuff, that's where his brilliance really shines through, almost more than the other stuff.
I just love that sequence because he just did everything there, right?
Yeah.
He did everything. We have the chart here. So there are only 3 21-year-olds, and Luka will be 21 by the time MVP voting happens, in the last 30 years who have made that top 5 that Zach is referring to in MVP voting. Look who it is. So it's good company.
Yeah.
Saying, we'll see if he can join them.
I have to believe if he could sustain this for the whole season and the Dallas Mavericks makes the playoffs, he will have a good chance of breaking in that top 2.
Can we just point out the chart, how ridiculous it is that Tim Duncan was on the MVP ballot as a rookie? Tim Duncan, I know he was 22, he's a 4-year college. He walked into the league and was an MVP candidate. That does not happen. That didn't happen with LeBron. Like, that doesn't happen. Now he walked onto a good team that had like 1 year tanking.
Right.
Tim Duncan is just ridiculous. Just an all-time ridiculous player.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for letting us. Nobody really was clued in on that. So
He's so quiet and unassuming. Like Tim Duncan versus Shaq, Tim Duncan versus Kobe. Like he's. People are going to underrate him historically, I think.
He's good, and a coaching resume now to boot.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
He has. I want to move back to James Harden because I remember this wager that was made on our show about a month ago between the two of you. Can we call that up?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And this is crazy that I'm thinking this way. I actually think James Harden might average 40 points this year.
Not with Russ, sir.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
If he averages 40 points a game, and I realize how dangerous this is for me to say, you can pick any restaurant you want. Any restaurant you want, and I'll take you out to dinner.
Okay.
Wow.
And I realize that's a bad, I'm going into dangerous territory.
Listen,
Los Angeles has some nice restaurants.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of an income disparity. 39.2. I'm hanging on that point too. I'm hanging. Look,
How's it going for you, Zach?
Am I texting Rockets officials, urging them to tell James Harden your assist total is getting a little low? Maybe. Am I trying to poison the well on this bet?
Who else you text?
Absolutely.
Did you text? Who else you text?
I'm not gonna say. I'm using my inside status trying to win this bet. But look, you can pick any restaurant you want. I'm gonna own it. You can pick anyone you want. I can't. It's not going great. The answer is it's not going great.
Things are not going well for you because, again, Tracy, the shooting percentages are still not at the level of last year. So once he gets back into the form he was in last year,
I think it'll be difficult for him to get back to the form he was in last year because he's taken so many threes this year. So the amount of threes that he's taken, obviously, his percent is going to bring his percentage down. But I'm not surprised by this. He's in an open offense where his usage rate is higher than anybody's. He's shooting the ball 25 times. He's a guy that knows how to get to the free throw line. He's averaging 27 points off of free throws and threes alone. I mean, listen, in today's game, if anybody can do it, James Harden can do it in this offense.
Russ, you're an MVP, okay? You're an MVP.
trying to bribe other players.
Eric Gordon, when you come back from injury, you got to get rolling. Like the team needs your scoring. Let's go. No, truthfully though, I said this yesterday. Like, it's amazing how many fans I think don't seem to like watching Harden play. You hear coaches like, I don't want to play that style. Like, my thing is stop it. Do something to stop it.
If you don't like it, then you got to stop it.
You stop it because throw two guys out, because the math works and no one can stop. It's absolutely insane what he's able to do without a pick, without anything.
No, it's not. I mean, because he's a great one-on-one basketball player, right? And he's surrounded by shooters. You can't double him because he's a great playmaker. But teams figure it out in the playoffs. I mean, Golden State has figured it out in the playoffs. That won't win a championship with James Harden doing this. Kobe said it. I'm saying there's a lot of people saying it. I don't think that's going to carry him to a championship.
Now, the Warriors are gone as we know them, right? And they were able to throw Durant, Iguodala, Clay, like three great defenders at him. Like, you look at the landscape of the Western Conference, obviously the Clippers with Kawhi and PG are going to be able to do that. But that super team is gone, and I agree with you. He hasn't won in the playoffs. He had the Spurs meltdown the season before CP came. But the Rockets were the only team to even compete with the Warriors in the Western Conference. The only team that even got close. They don't get enough credit for that.
Well, guess who plays on Friday night? The Rockets and the Clippers. So we will get to see some of this coming up pretty soon. I will say, I think James can do it because you talk about his three-point percentage is not even at where it was last year. So even if he continues to take this volume of threes, if he just gets that back up to where it was, and the pace that this Rockets team is playing with is so much more, he's just getting more cracks at it. My money is on Tracy McGrady.
The dinner does not include you. You're out.
Maybe it does.
You get
maybe
nothing.
It doesn't. We'll see.
Steak
we'll
48.
see.
Here we come.
Coming up, as Kyrie Irving continues to miss games and the Nets continue to lose, will Brooklyn recover? We will discuss that. First, though, it's time for our distant replay from this date featuring 96 Big Ticket. You saw a little bit of them at the top of the show. Let's watch them now.
Looking inside, Robinson.
Got that from the hip.